Hey, what's up? So I shared with you in a previous video my white chocolate Reese's protein ice cream using my Ninja Creami. So I'm going to share with you my regular Reese's Ninja Creami ice cream recipe. So what I use for this one is the fat-free, ultra-filtered Fairlife milk. I used 1 cup. I did use the chocolate version. I didn't see or find or do much research to see if they had a fat-free version, again, locally at the grocery store. I didn't see it, so I'm not sure if it exists. I originally wanted to cut some of the macros, so I switched over to this one, and hopefully I'll have enough. I think I just have enough. Okay, so I do 1 cup, which is 240 milliliters. That's pretty much all of that. And I do 1 Fairlife protein. Instead of the protein powder like I use in the white chocolate Reese's, I use 1 bottle of this, which is the same amount, or actually it's 340 milliliters. So it's a little bit more. Oh, biscuits. Scratch that. I thought I didn't use the Fairlife fat-free milk and I used almond milk instead, but that's not true. I'm doing it correctly. So I use 1 teaspoon of cocoa powder. Also 7 ounces, which I think is, or 7 grams, which is 1 tablespoon of sugar-free Jell-O pudding. And then let me go ahead and mix this up before I add the naked peanut butter powder, because it's so thick and it clumps. So I like to add that separately, and I mix this as well as I can. And pretty much it's the same thing as the one that I use for the white chocolate Reese's. The only difference is I use Fairlife protein powder rather than a regular protein powder. And then I'll clear that out and I'll use 1 scoop, which is 15 grams of the protein powder. A little less, hold on. We want all the peanut butter. Same as the previous recipe, I was doing half of that, but I like it to have more of a peanut butter taste because it does have the chocolate taste because of the protein powder as well as the teaspoon of cocoa powder that I use. So the chocolate taste is there, but I wanted more of a stronger peanut butter taste. So instead of half a scoop, I use a full scoop of the protein powder. I mean the peanut butter powder. Okay, that is mixed well, and that is all the ingredients for the regular Reese's protein Ninja Creami ice cream. And same thing as the white chocolate Reese's, as I mentioned in that video. I'll run it through a light ice cream cycle, and then I'll add in almond milk. If it's a little chalky, which most likely it will be, then I'll put it on respin, and then I'll add in the mix-ins. For the mix-ins, I use these little mini Reese's. It's not Reese's, it's off-brand. It's Trader Joe's brand. These little mini peanut butter cups. I'll put 1 serving, and that's 22 of those in there. I'll chop them up, and then I'll put them in for the mix-ins, and then put it back in there. Add a little bit more almond milk if I need to after the respin, and then do another put the mix-in setting, and then it's pretty much done. And then, like I said, I usually split it in half. If he's not here, I'll put it back in the freezer. I'll smooth it out and then put it back in the freezer. The only difference is when you respin it again, after you added the mix-ins, you can't really tell that there are mix-ins in there. So you might have to add a little more, which will change the macros for your ice cream. But again, these have been a lifesaver when it comes to an alternative for something sweet to help satisfy our sweet tooth, which we genuinely have. So anyways, hopefully you try this recipe, and then I'll do another video to show what the what it's like once I do spin it and put it back through the spin cycle. But hopefully you'll find these recipes. Hopefully you'll try it. And there's also a cookie butter one that I have, which it's in the freezer right now. And depending on my macros, maybe I'll have that today. But that one, I can share that recipe at another time, and maybe I'll start sharing more of the Ninja Creami recipes. But these are the three that I've really tried often. I need to do an Oreo one because we love Oreo or cookies and cream ice cream. So I haven't done one yet, but I have Oreo thin. So maybe that's the next one that I'll try. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Okay, I'm back. So I am now gonna make me a Ninja Creami. So I took out the Reese's, the regular Reese's one out of the freezer, and it was sitting out while I ate dinner. So now I'm going to show you how I make it. So I let it sit for, it's probably been sitting for about 20 minutes or so. This is what it looks like. And it's pretty solid frozen. So what I'm gonna do is take out, and the blade is already in there, take this out, put it in the bottom of this, put it in here, twist it, and then I'll turn it on. I'll hit bottom because it doesn't completely fill it all the way to the top. I mean, it's a good bit, but lately I've just been only doing the bottom. Then I'll turn it to light ice cream, and then I'll let it go, and it'll take about 4 minutes. So BRB. But while it's mixing, I'll go ahead, and this is what I get from Trader Joe's, the mini milk chocolate peanut butter cups. And I do 1 serving, which is 22 pieces, 30 grams of these, and I'll chop them in half. And then the third time I run this, I'll put them in the inside, but I'll show you that. All right, so it is done mixing, and this is, I don't want it to fall out. This is what it looks like, if you can see it. So what I typically do is I scrape the sides. To get the ice off the sides. Because when I first did it, the first couple times, it was like very icy. Because I didn't know what I was doing. And I'm still learning as I go. But it's gotten better and better. But so I'll scrape the sides down. And some people I read, they let it sit out beforehand, run it under some water. I did run it under a little water because I'm not going to eat all of it. Normally I'll split it with my husband, and he is out of town. So therefore I'm going to put it back in the freezer once I scoop out my serving. So it doesn't matter if I don't get the bottom of it, because it's going to go back in the freezer anyway. So I'm not going to scoop my ice cream from the bottom. So I'll pour a little bit of almond milk in there, and then I'll put it back in here, put the top back on, attach it, do bottom again, and then I don't know if I need to do light ice cream, but I always do, and then I'll do respin. Okay, it's done. So release it, twist it off, and then this is what it looks like. All right, I can put it here. So this is what it looks like after I added a little bit of almond milk. If I wanted to and didn't really care about the macros, I would have added the Fairlife, the chocolate milk. I've had that one before, but because I don't want the added macros. So then I'll go ahead and take my pieces. It pretty much has a hole in it, but I will make it a little bit deeper. And then I'll add those. The mix-in is what they call them, mix-ins. So you add whatever you're mixing in the inside of it. Add that in the center. And then I'll add it back in here. Put the top back on. Same thing, always choose bottom, always choose light ice cream. I haven't tried it without doing that. You probably don't even need to do that because all I'm gonna do is select mix in. 2 minutes. Okay, it's done with the mix-in. So again, I release it and then take the top off. And then that is it. That is what it looks like. And then what I normally do is, because I usually split it in half with my husband, so I'll use my scale. I'll weigh an empty one and it's 175 grams. So then, hold on, normally I do it this way. I'll put it on there and then I turn it on. So it's 175 grams. So now that I know once I put this on, it'll take that off. So it's 720, we'll say it's 721. We'll say 720 for easy math. So 360, I think that's what divided in half. So then I'll take my bowl, put it on here, clear it out. And then I'll scoop 360. Normally I do a little less. I probably did a little too much almond milk because it's super soft. But I mean, I'm not mad at it. But I'll just have to like eat it immediately. But I mean, it scoops just like ice cream from the start of the process. Like when it first went through, looking at it, you probably wouldn't have thought it was going to turn out this creamy. It looked a little sketchy, but I mean, what did I say? 320? Is that what I said? No, 350. 360, right? Yes, 360, because it was 720. And a lot of times I do a little bit less. So that was 358, and that's good enough. And I usually scrape whatever is in here off. And because I'm not using all of it, I did read it in the manual where you should flatten it out. Flatten it back out and then put it back in the freezer. I guess it gives it a smooth surface when you do put it back, run it back through there. And when I run it back through, I always do light ice cream to put it back through. So I will put the top back on, put it in the freezer. And then usually when I run it back through, the toppings, you can't really taste it any longer. So again, if you want to calculate to add a couple more of the mini chocolate chip or mini milk chocolate peanut butter cups, then you'll have to account for that because you usually can't taste it once you run it back through. But that's it. That's how I make my Ninja Creami. And this is the Reese's. Like I said, I put a little, probably too much almond milk in there. So it's super soft. So I'm going to go ahead and eat it and enjoy. So hopefully you try it. It's super simple. Lots of protein compared to regular ice cream, and it tastes amazing. So I'll do my white chocolate Reese's as well, but this is the regular Reese's Ninja Creami recipe. So give it a try. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Bye.